My name is Malcolm Mundy, and this is these are my astrological predictions for 2011. I'm going to now be covering Israel. And there's a lot to talk about with Israel because they have significant astrological activity going on their chart for 2011. Okay, Israel was started as an entity on May 14th, 1948 at 4:37 p.m. Tel Aviv, Israel. This was when David Ben-Gurion, the first Prime Minister of Israel, announced Israel as an independent state. There are many astrologers out there that like to use an 8th house sun because this portrays their personality accurately, theoretically speaking, that because the sun is in Taurus, which you can say represents real estate, and in the 8th house, which rules transformation of death, it interprets them as, their personality as, they will kill anybody for that land. Or they will defend their land to the death, I guess a better way to say that. The problem with that is it gives them a Jupiter and Sagittarius placement in the 3rd house, which I disagree with because this would portray incredible success in communications. The actual pronouncement by David Ben-Gurion at 4:37 gives them a 2nd house Jupiter, which means vast expansion in financial resources. And the fact that it's in an exact sesquiquadrate with Pluto in the 10th house definitely pushes for this aspect even more. Israel has received 4 times the cost of the Apollo moon program in terms of financial resources since their inception, and this pretty much defines more of a Jupiter in the 2nd house placement than a Jupiter in the 3rd house placement. Anyway, without further ado, let's talk about Israel. I have 3 predictions for Israel. Number 1, Israel has a mix of good and bad news during the first 4 months of the year, but the real noticeable thing to watch for may be an increased number of younger people protesting against the government within Israel, especially not necessarily Palestinian people, but Israeli citizens of Jewish faith. Younger people are now starting to be involved with the internet more. They're starting to be involved more with other people, and they're also starting to travel more. And I think you're going to start to see them get a little bit nervous about being disliked by so many people in the world. It'll be interesting to watch this because you'll probably see the media start to focus on this as Jewish people ashamed to be Jewish, which is ludicrous because the country of Israel and Jewish religion per se is apples and oranges, or I guess a better way to say it, it would be apples and vegetables. Anyway, watch for that to go on. And I attribute that mainly to Uranus transiting the 5th house. Okay, number 2. Summertime may feature possible military action and conflict starting from the last week of May, ending in maybe the 1st week of August, that time frame. And I attribute this to 3 eclipses that are going to hit important points on Israel's chart. And from a perspective of watching charts for 20 years, I've never seen eclipses hit important points on a chart one after the other directly. The June 1st eclipse forms an almost exact hit on their Mercury in the 8th house. This may involve their intelligence organization Mossad, which is ranked one of the best in the world, if not the best. They have the 8th house represents secrets and secretive information, and with Mercury there, this definitely represents some kind of activity regarding spying and possible death via such spying. And that will be that hit. Then the next one looks a little bit more frightening. On June 15, 2011, the next eclipse, almost a direct hit on Uranus in the 8th house. Uranus represents nuclear power, nuclear weapons, shocking transformations. It can represent a big accident of some kind. So Israel has a nuclear facility at Dimona, Israel, and it could represent an attack on that or some kind of accident regarding that. It may also represent an attack on Iran's nuclear facility. they have been protesting against Iran's nuclear facility for a great deal of time now. So this may represent a strike on Iran's nuclear facility at this time, or it could represent some shocking news regarding, say, how it treats the Palestinian people or other people, for that matter. May also represent a crackdown on its younger people. And let's see, the next eclipse, July 1st, this forms an exact square to Neptune in the 12th. This may be some kind of a scandal, especially regarding its intelligence community, Mossad. It may also represent a scandal of some kind involving, say, the Jewish faith, or the particular fanaticism that reigns in some Jewish people in Israel, especially if it's, say, Zionist based. It may also represent a chemical accident of some kind, since Neptune rules chemicals. But either way, it's going to be some kind of big disappointment come July 1st that may be a setback for the country of Israel. And let's see, finally, prediction number 3. The last 4 months features Neptune opposing Mars in the 10th house. And Neptune's going to be going stationary or real slow motion while this is going on. I can see some sort of big disappointment or scandal involving Israel's military complex, or big disappointment involving certain actions of Israel, or it may be the media, especially the U.S. media, glamorizing Israel's actions or glamorizing Israel's military actions in some way. But for the most part, I think it might tend to find some kind of disappointment. And I tried to look at 2 charts regarding possible actions. Whoa! I looked at Mahmoud Ahmadinejad's chart. This is the proposed chart because he won't reveal his time of birth, so he's a pretty smart guy. October 28, 1956, 4:34 p.m., Gamsar, Iran is the chart I looked at that I think seems to represent his personality and the way he is the best. And the thing that's interesting about this is Saturn retrogrades into his 12th house near the end of May at this time. And if you're using military strategy with astrology, that would be a really ideal time if you wanted to hit somebody, which is kind of frightening. Also, I looked at Lebanon's chart. Lebanon has a huge fresh water supply, and Israel's fresh water supplies have been dwindling, probably because a lot of the new immigrants, the new settlers that have moved in, have built swimming pools and fountains. And Israel is a country that's predominantly desert and predominantly arid, and their water supplies have been dwindling, probably because of these activities. And they would like some more fresh water, and Lebanon has such sources. And Lebanon also has Hezbollah, which is an accused terrorist organization that did manage to stand off the Israeli military during the early, I forgot what year it was, I think it was like 2003 or 2004, but that was a real shocker that they were able to stand off Israel's military. So I could see either Lebanon or Iran getting hit in the summer as a possibility. And the big frightening thing is there is a probability of some kind of nuclear strike or hit on a nuclear facility under this. So that's kind of scary. Okay, that takes care of Israel. Next on the list is Iran. And I'm Malcolm Mundy. I hope you're enjoying my astrological predictions for 2011. Be right back.